right. Hey, everybody. Sorry I'm running a little late. I had one of my neighbors show up and he decided he wanted to start talking about something that wasn't really that important. So I had to kind of explain to him that I was in a meeting and I don't think he understood. And I told him I was doing a live stream. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm here now. And so can everybody hear me, see me? Is everything good over there? Let's see. Let me turn on the comments here. All right, Jen's here. Got Lily, hand pink waving. John's here from, let's see, we got Pavlina from London. Pavlina, you're starting to be a night owl now. You said you couldn't make it for a long time, but now you're here every week pretty much. So I hope it's working for, hope meditation's working for you. I'm sure it is. That's why you do it. Elizabeth's here. Monica from Southern California. And Jen from Miami. I just got your text, Jen. Nico's here from still in Vancouver, but from Mexico and also Italy. And I think you're born in America. So, excuse me. But yeah, Nico's from everywhere. But he shows up a good bit, and we're glad you're here. And yep, Pavlina showing up. Got Darla on here. All right, so I got to get my thoughts together here, but this is Monday. This is the Monday meditation. I do this every Monday, and I think it looks like a lot of people that are here have already kind of signed in, but if you haven't, there's no cover charge. We don't sell you anything. There's no kind of money you have to give or donations or anything. Yeah, just ask that you just subscribe to the channel, like the video, and put where you're from in the comments. That's all we really ask. It's just put where you're from. It's just kind of cool to connect with everybody, see where everybody's from. So if you could do that, we certainly would appreciate it. There is a poll going on. If you're new to this, new to showing up, there is a poll going on about which meditation we're going to do at the end of this talk. And I'm not sure what I put up there earlier, but you'll probably see it in the YouTube thing. I need to pull it up here. Give me just a moment. And let's see. Just a moment here. I'm not good at multitasking. All right, so we got Blessings of the Energy 10, or Blessings of the Energy X, as I like to call it. And Body Parts, we've got the Generous Present Moment, Space Time, Time Space. We've got 13 votes, and it looks like there is 16 people on the live stream. So 3 people haven't voted, but that's all right. The voting hasn't stopped right now. We're going to do that at the end of the talk, which is normally around 8 o'clock, and then we start the group meditation. We'll go over to a Zoom call. So, yes, that's that. Also, if you're new on here and you haven't already, all right, got Melissa from North Carolina. I'm here in South Carolina. I'm in Greenville, South Carolina, pretty much right outside of Greenville, Landrum, South Carolina, but... All right, so Darla's from in Oklahoma City, but Southern California originally. All right. Pavlina says something here. Let me see what she says. I'm there at the start and always asleep 10 minutes in. Not going well, but keep trying. Thankful for you. All right, well, at least you get 10 minutes of meditating in or 10 minutes of showing up. So you get credit for that. So that's a good thing. But thank you for trying. I'm sure you meditate on your own just fine. So now, does anybody have any questions? Any kind of, if anybody ever does, feel free to ask them. If you have any kind of frustrations with meditation, if you're confused about something within meditation or just curious about something, I'm not saying I've got the answer, but somebody on here might, and I'll definitely give you a response. I could tell you that much, but. So if you do, that's the intention of this channel, is to try to help bring people into meditation. And I want to share with people how it's changed my life, and hopefully to try to help inspire other people to get into meditation, because I truly believe that if anybody out there has experienced the things that I have, then you would stop what you're doing right now and you would do everything you could to make this deep connection to the meditation. So a year and a half ago, I never really meditated at all, and then it totally I had a big experience with it, which is, if you go into my YouTube channel, then you will see some videos on there that I describe about talk about a lot of my experiences. And I kind of come from, kind of connected with the meditation through Dr. Joe Dispenza. I think that's where a lot of people show up from his teachings here. And but some people aren't. Some people just are curious about meditation, so it's fine either way. So that's the intention of this channel. So if anybody does have questions, don't be afraid to ask. I'd be happy to try to share that with you. I was going to say that a couple of updates. Last week, if anybody was on here, I did get my eye fixed. I mean, it's still probably a little messed up, but we did set an. I got your message, Jen, and I'll talk about something like that. We kind of set an intention. I had some issues with my eye. I had a sty, and normally I don't ever get rid of them, but I will say that everybody set an intention on that eye, and Jen gave me some pro tips after the meditation, and that sty has now gone. So basically, she suggested a warm compress, and I said, well, that's never worked. I get a lot of styes from wearing sunglasses, but that's never worked for me ever. People talk about that all the time, but I did it this time and it worked. And I gotta say, it's got to be from the intention from the people in this group. So it's not that profound of a thing, but I've never had a sty clear up through that way. And so I appreciate the help last week. And so that's that. And also, another people have been following me. I had a tree fall on my car, kind of have manifested a new car, but I also had my next door neighbor showed up just before I started this, and he said, "Hey man, I see you got a rental car out there. You need a car?" That's why he was showing up. That's why I'm running late to this thing. I had to tell him that he was there. Katie made it here from Greer. Katie, I need to talk to you too at the end of this. I'll send you a message on Facebook. But so yeah, that's why I was running a little bit late. My next door neighbor sells Lexuses, and that's what I drive. And he saw me driving something else, like I'm borrowing a car until my car comes in. And he just was like, "Man, what happened to your Lexus?" And he goes, I sell them, right? I said, "I know, man." So he's trying to sell me a car, but I do have one on the way, but it's not here yet. So he may end up selling me a car anyway. I'm starting to get irritated with the people that sold me a car. So the company that sold me a car. So anyway, I'm rambling on a lot about myself. But there's also a Facebook group. If you aren't a part of the Facebook group, it's you just go to Meditation Monday, Gregory Hodges on Facebook, and you'll find it. That's kind of an easier way for us to communicate. Sometimes I'll do these kind of pop-up meditations. I'll do like midnight meditations. And I'll do them from time to time. I don't ever really plan them. I kind of do them last minute because I just kind of like it like that. And plus, it's hard for me to commit sometimes to something late like that. So if you want to go there, I kind of announce a couple hours before, or try to, or as early as I can when we're going to be doing those meditations. I am going to try to do one this Wednesday, but I will announce it in the Facebook group and let you know. But I want to try to do one this Wednesday. And typically we do the pineal gland on Wednesdays. And speaking of the pineal gland, I need to pull up my calendar here. I've mentioned a couple of times that I've got this bootleg Dr. Joe Dispenza 4-hour pineal gland, whatever you want to call it, meditation. Someone sent it to me a while back, and I've done it once, but it is 4 hours. And so we're going to do it. Anybody that wants to do it, and let's see here, it's going to be on August 23rd. That's a Wednesday. That's 1, 2, 3. That's almost, I think, about a month away from now. But we're probably going to start it at 10 o'clock and go until 2. Unless people tell me otherwise, they'd rather do it later. But I think that'd be a good compromise. I don't think everybody wants to get up at midnight and go until 4. But I could be wrong with that. I'll do it anytime you guys want to do it. I'll do it at 2 in the morning, at 11, 10 at night, but I want to try to bring in as many people as possible. So, and the no says, put the bootleg on my Google Drive. Yes, I will do that after we do it. You got to show up and do it, and then you get the bootleg. I don't know. I just decided that. But I will get it there into the Google Drive at some point. And so... but yeah, so that will be on August the 23rd. I hope if everybody wants to put that on their calendar, unless there's a catastrophe or something happens that I can't do it, then I plan on doing it then. It'll probably start at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time and go until 2 in the morning. So it's about four hours and some change. So just putting that out there, August 23rd. That's a Wednesday. So be prepared. All right. So Jen from Miami had a question of, she texted me earlier. She wanted to know more about the healing groups. And now I'm assuming the healing groups like at the retreats. Now there are some. You're talking about Dr. Joe Dispenza's healing groups, and I guess there's two things that they do. Is they have like online healing groups that they do that I haven't really been a big part of those before, but basically they're probably similar to what we do here. They set out an intention for somebody that needs healing, and there's a group of people that will sit there and meditate and send love and healing thoughts to this person. And the intention is to try to help heal this person. You don't really know their name. You don't know what their issue is. But by doing that, people have been healed over some things. So, but at the retreats, that has been more of my experience. There is about 3 days of where he does coherence healings. And those healings are they're pretty wild and bizarre to go into. And if you've never really been to a retreat and you're not really ever meditated before, then it could be hard to kind of see that. But, you've got people laying on the ground. It's really kind of emotional time because, there's people that are laying on the ground and they're looking for help and they're looking to heal whatever ailments they may have. And most of the time, you don't ever know what they are unless that person ends up wanting to tell you. But basically, you spend probably about an hour or 2 hours a day healing these people, and there are people that have come out of these things. And now, as far as being prepared to heal these people. At the event, you go outside and you do a walking meditation. So you're just coming out of meditation, but basically you want to get in there and open your heart up. And that's the main ingredient, I think, that probably helps other people. It's just opening your heart up and then spending time meditating over them. Dr. Joe kind of goes through a thing where you rub your hands together and you put your hands kind of not over the person, but just in that area. So you're not going to be like directly over them. But you would turn your hands towards that person and basically opening your heart and giving the intentions of healing for that person. And I have firsthand seen people get healed. There was this guy at the last retreat I was at, which I guess was I think there was Nashville that I was in. So if anybody was there, you probably maybe help correct the story if I get it wrong. But there was a guy there that this kid, looked like he was about 15 years old. He showed up and he didn't have any hearing in his left ear. And he was just some 15-year-old punk. I mean, he just looks like a regular old kid that goes to high school, probably plays a little soccer. And, he's probably got a little girlfriend and stuff, just a typical 15-year-old, just nothing out of the ordinary. He wasn't weird. He wasn't very normal. And he got up on stage and told this story. He was new to meditation. He knew that he kind of found it through his mom, but he got up there and he laid down and had these people heal over him. And as he did, he said he heard this person scream next to him. This is kind of his story, and I'm not really telling it that well, but he heard this person scream next to him, and he just went, all right, and he said, I heard a grown man scream, and I've never heard of somebody scream like that, but he said that kind of triggered him to just finally just let go. And he said, I'm just going to ride this thing out, and sit there. And as he did, he said that he went through that meditation, through that coherence healing, and the 15-year-old kid got up and he could hear out of his left ear. He had never been able to hear his whole life out of his left ear, only his right ear. And so he gets up on stage and starts telling the story, and he's crying up there at the end. And he was, you could tell he was brave to get up there. And it's hard for somebody to talk in front of 2,000 people, especially when you're 15. But he did a great job. But he said, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what this is. I don't really know what happened. But I can tell you right now that I can hear. And I don't know. It's a pretty wild experience to go to and have somebody say that. And this kid's not up there lying. His mom was up there in the front crying with him because she couldn't believe it. There was another guy that had an issue with the talking there, and so he had an issue there talking, and he got up on stage and talked about he couldn't talk. He wasn't able to talk. If he did, it was very he said like the phone, as there's a bad connection in the phone. So he said that he would try to order room service in his hotel room through the phone, and they would hang up on him because they thought it was a bad connection because he couldn't talk. It was always separated like that kind of thing. And as he, so he went through this meditation. He was getting up there talking, and it was just incredible to hear this guy talk. Now, he could talk. All of a sudden, he didn't. You could tell that he had an issue with his voice, but it wasn't as dramatic as he was talking about. And this guy broke down, and a grown man just broke down on stage and was having a hard time understanding and dealing with it himself. And it's hard if you're struggling with meditation. It's hard not to believe these people that they've had these changes. And so people that don't think that there's something there, they just haven't had an experience or haven't seen anybody. But you got to find something, some kind of leverage to be able to take that and use that as fuel to be able to really spend time connecting with the meditation, because it works. And there's a lot of other people that I've talked to at these retreats that didn't just get up there and speak. You sit next to them at lunch and they go, "Oh man, I quit shaking. My hands used to shake, and they don't shake." And there's all kind of health issues that people show up for. And does everyone get healed? No. Why? I don't know. I don't know specifically. I have my thoughts about it, but couldn't really tell you why. So that's anyway. That Jen was asking me. She wanted me to talk a little bit about that. I think that's what she wanted me to talk about. But that's a little bit about the coherence healing groups at the meditation retreats. If you haven't ever had an experience with meditation, if you go and hear some of these stories and these testimonials, and you actually go to the event and actually sit next to someone that's had massive changes, then it's hard not to go, well, clearly there's got to be something here. I mean, if you haven't had some kind of experience or don't know anything about meditation, you go, wow, these are very reasonable people that are talking about these massive changes. So that's you can use that as fuel or leverage to be able to just stick with it and just believe that there's stuff that can happen. But to me, meditation's kind of like, I thought about this the other day. It's like kind of like a bowling. Like you're bowling on a bowling alley, but when you meditate, you put the bumpers in the bowling alley. You're not always going to get strikes, but the ball's going to go hit a bunch of pins. You're not going to end up in the gutter every single time. It's going to keep you on track. You're not going to get off track in life. And it's like playing bumpers, like whatever I don't know what they call it, but I forgot what they call it. The bowling with bumpers, I guess they do for like little kids, or night bowling or something. So let's see. It looks like there was a couple of questions over here. So we got about 5 minutes. I'll talk a little bit more and answer some questions, and then here at 8:00 we'll start to get started on the meditation, and we'll check back in on how the poll's doing. If you haven't voted for which meditation we're going to do, right now would be a good time to go and vote. I can't see what it is right now, but I will check it in a little bit. So go and vote for that. It's on the YouTube channel. If you're on Facebook, you can't comment and you can't vote from Facebook. Some people have asked me about that, but you're able to watch and listen. But if you want to actually interact, you're going to have to come to YouTube. So anyway, let's see. There was a couple of, In the Know says she's seen people heal during the retreat. Yeah, that's a real thing. So here's a question from In the Know. You have to first believe you can heal yourself, remove all doubts, then you will feel the energy. You will also get some healing. Absolutely. So that wasn't a question, it was a statement. I totally agree with you, 110%. Yep. Let's see. Emotional, the first few healings after he's teaching to do it. There's a formula as well, and you need. Yeah, I guess somebody elaborated. there's not necessarily, Jen's is saying if there's a formula. I mean, there's, let's see, they do about 8 people surrounded this person. But I mean, if you go to a bunch of events like I have, there's not always 8 people. So I've done them to where there's 3 people there only because there just weren't enough people to fit with everybody that needed healing. So they try to get as many people around as they can. And most of the time, it is about 8. Is there a specific reason? They've never mentioned it is, but it almost seems like the more the merrier. So. But yeah, there's not a whole lot to it other than get in and Dr. Joe kind of guides you and put your hands over the people. So, yeah. All right. So Lily says, is there any preparation to go to the retreat? I would suggest the preparation is just really don't worry about anything. Just everything they got nice resorts. There's nothing to worry about. And you shouldn't really try. Just show up. Just show up and don't worry about, oh, am I going to have this? I'm not going to have that. They're going to have everything there that you need. They're going to take care of you. They've been doing this a bunch. And so there's not anything specific. Some people can mention that, but at the end of the day, you really could just show up. You're going to be fine. It's always nice hotels and the food's good. It's not the greatest food, but it's not the worst food. They do a good job for serving food for 2,000 people there. So anyway, that's I wouldn't say that there's any major preparation. Just show up, take a mask with you, and that might be helpful because you're going to do a lot of meditating. Yes. All right. So take. All right. There's a. Monica says that there's a book by Richard Gorgon, the creator of Quantum Touch, that teaches you how to heal with your heart. Not familiar with him, but hey, I'll have to go check him out. Thank you for sharing that. So, all right, it's 8:00. Unless anybody has any questions, we're going to get on with the meditation here. So, it's looking like Blessings of the Energy X or 10. Is in the lead, and there's not even a close second. So its undisputed champion is the Blessings of the Energy X or 10. So let me pull up a Zoom meeting real quick, and then I'll get the link for everybody. Give me just a second here.
Recording in progress.
All right. Here is the link to the Zoom. And if everybody wants to start coming over now, that'd be great. All right, cool. Looks like that link's working. So come on in and let me get this queued up. All right, Nico's in. All right, if you could, try to mute yourself when you come over. And if you haven't ever meditated before, just come on over and just check it out for a little while. If you don't have time to do a full hour, because it's probably going to be around an hour, then just come over and do 20 minutes. Just do what you can. Just check it out.
You're muted. We can't hear you, Greg.
I know you can't. I'm just keeping the audio on the live stream right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
But thank you for telling me. All right, so yeah, come on over. I'm going to leave the live stream up. And if anybody wants to come in, just make sure you're muted.